Okay, hello and welcome, dear chess friends and wannabe chess friends, most likely. Well, I will quickly try to explain why I'm recording this video in English language. I mean, first of all, English language, as I try to explain to my children as well, is very useful and well, as they all do access the internet, of course, and as soon as you start watching videos on YouTube, well, you should know and understand this language, and you reach a lot more people, and you, well, you anyway, well, we can't go by this, and we definitely have to well, teach our children, and but it will come anyway, because they all know and see, and they get in touch with this language, and and still the big countries are having this big problem, and this is, I usually get sidetracked wherever, but the big countries, they, with the synchronization, because they, if you go to Scandinavia, or so the big movies, they are not going to be synchronized, so they usually Swedish or Norwegian, or even well, Danish people as well, they all speak, or also Dutch, or, well, they usually speak pretty good English, while French, Italians, Spaniards, Germans, they don't, because they rely on their language being big enough for the world. But it's not the case. But this is why it's synchronized, and then they don't use this language, well, this much as others do. So anyway, and why am I doing, well, look at this position, and I mean, we are still into chess videos, and I would like to, of course, get to the subject somehow. And okay, why this position? And obviously, I mean, the chess 960, which I would really love to support more and more, and well, there has been this recent match now between Nakamura and Carlsen, where they played four chess 960 games, and they were all pretty good. And I think Nakamura won the mini match on the 960 games because he had some more experience, but it was not because of the understanding of the game. It was just the games went his way at some point. Anyway, this means it could be some more games to come and somewhat more matches, which would be a lot more what I would think what chess is going, because this is the classical chess is a battle of knowledge quite often, because you try to battle out the opponent in the preparation, and you know he's going to play this, he's going to play in the 15th move, you have your novelty, or your move you try to surprise him with, or something like that. Anyway, they try to this is the more scientific approach, something like that. When you say, well, I would like to know the best move in this position, and we went for 100 years, and we have been studying it, the Scotch or whatever it is, the Russian defense, and then all the what is it called? These lines within in the tree. I don't know, the variation tree of variation. And then they say, okay, here you gotta play this, here you gotta play this, here you gotta play, and then it's even, or white has a slight edge, whatever it is. But in chess 960, there's all of this is gone, so you can, at virtually no point, you can rely on any kind of knowledge. You can say, well, I know this ending, or I know this structure, and I know how to crack this pawn structure, or how to open a line file, or a line, yeah, file, what it's called. Because open file is in the computer. Anyway, you open a line or diagonal, or you know how to the pawn structures, but it's not that much to do with knowledge. It's more understanding chess, and I think that it is gonna come at some point. So why not start today? And if people explain to me they do not know the games, or the game, this is, staying away from it. Okay, you're welcome. Or yeah, I mean, anyone can do is a victim of his own passions, or I don't know what that is in English, the expression. But anyway, if you don't want to play it, you do not play it, right? But there is a shyness. You somehow you stay away from it because you're afraid of I don't understand. I make an error and people laugh at me, something like that. And of course, of course, anyone can make silly errors here very early on. A checkmate, you will see here in a second what could have happened very early in the game. But and this will happen. It is going to happen. And actually, I can show you an error that occurred in one game at least in the first round of this tournament that I'm going to talk about right in a second. But I just wanted to keep talking about why people stay away from this game. It is, they feel very comfortable if they have their position. It is the classical position, the one of the 960 possible with a setup, with the original setup: rook, knight, bishop, king, queen, and bishop, knight, rook. Again, so the classical setup. And then they think, okay, I know if he's going to play this, I'm going to play this. If he's going to play this, I'm going to play this. So I know all my lines, so nothing can happen to me. And here, I don't know. So they stay away. But when they say, I don't know the rules, there's just one rule that causes the problems. So you should not argue like that. If you say, I'm not going to play it because I don't want to, I'm used to my common positions. But and I'm just not gonna play it. So people do that, but people argue about it. And when they argue, they say something wrong or stupid or unconsidered, just simply saying, I don't know the rules. So there's just one rule which may make the problems. This is the castling rule, obviously. And I can also, maybe if I come deeper into it, we will have some more positions where, if I would repeat this and show some more 960 games where it could cause problem. But I can at least mention that the problem here, or there are several problems about it, which I really have to admit, and I made errors myself in castling. Really, I have to admit that. And it happens because if rook and king are here, and you move the rook, for example, then the rook is here, you move it to h1 at some point, but then you would not know if you're allowed to castle. You have to remember, because the rook could have been here as well in the starting setup. So you would not know if you can castle wherever your rook is, right? So in classical chess, if the rook is on g1, you don't even have to think about the possibility of castling, because you can only castle if the rook is in its original, the only one position it is in the classical chess, and if the king is in its original position. You still can make castling errors, or you can move a big rook to g1 and back to h1 and still make a castling error, which did happen at some point, and also there are some stories about when that happened in big games, when someone like Korchnoi made an illegal castling or something like that. But it's very rare, and in 960 it can happen at any point, right? Because you do not know. You have to remember the starting position, or you have to remember as soon as you moved one of those pieces, or sometimes you can have a look at opponent's position of his pieces, and then he never moved his rook, so maybe I moved mine. So there is a small problem. Otherwise, it's very regular compared to all other, to the classical chess. You simply have to put the king on its original square where it ought to be standing after a castle in the classical chess, and the rook is in its place. So you will, whenever you castle your king, if you castle with white, and you do the king's rook castling, because it's neither long nor short, it's just a king side castling, and no, not the king side, it's the what is it called? The G castling. You castle to the G, because to G file, the king is going to end up here, and the rook is going to end up here. So that's all you have to remember. Of course, you can't castle when you're in check, and you can't castle when you're through. You can't move your king over a square which is protected by opposing pieces. And So you all you have to remember is actually king is going to end up on g1 and rook on f1, or king is going to end up on c1 and rook on d1. Fritz does not handle chess 960, I think. So you know, but lucky enough in this short game I'm going to show you now, there is no castling happening. So we will avoid this problem. How I'm going to solve it in the future, I don't know. This was first round of the Berlin Championship that was played last weekend, 7th of January. I have this calendar up here, and it's 10th of September, January 2018 right now, and it had been played on the 7th, so on a Sunday. And this was first round, and my opponent started like this, which was, I saw in quite, well, I stored it actually, so I can, but he opened like this, and actually it happened as I said. There are some opening traps, so to say, things like that, which you know, you should try to avoid. And there are unprotected pawns sometimes in a 960 game, and this is the h7 pawn, which is unprotected here. And not even that it's not just that it's unprotected, it's even your rook can't escape after that. So there was one game, this is what I want to, there was someone reacted like that or something like that, and pawn was taking here. There is some funny line sometimes, you know, when the opponent, he might not even notice it, but still make the symmetrical approach. And when they start to, you know, he takes here, oh, lucky enough, I missed that, but I can take, and then they start to hit here and here and here and things like that, and all of a sudden, at this point, you notice, oh, I can't hit the bishop because my queen is going to hang. So there are some weird lines like that can occur at some point, right? But anyway, I mean, you could avoid this if you wish so. If you simply, after the bishop takes here, you would recapture, and then you say, well, this rook is not going to move anyway. So it would still be equality somehow, right? As like any other game. But of course, I don't want to, you know, I want to, yeah, you have to bring out your knight and you cover this pawn. And there's no more bishop h7, and now we can start thinking about the game. This is no, my opponent actually made. Well, I can look it up here. What he played, because I recorded it at some point, but I did it today actually. But I remember, of course, what he did. He did this, or I had to reproduce it, or memorize it. And well, after this move, I actually had a funny idea. And here you can say, well, what I'm saying about the 960, you have all kind of motives, and you might find it in a study, or you might somewhere at move 65, or you might have it in classical chess. But you will simply have a multitude of motives of patterns that you didn't see before. So why not play 960? I mean, the pieces can do so much more than just bishop takes h7 check and knight g5 check and checkmate, right? This is, you know, there are so many chances of some funny things to happen. Why would you disallow this and say, no, we're gonna play very regular, bishop is gonna be on f1, the other one on c1, and there's no alternative to that, and so we all know where they're gonna go and where they're gonna be at move 17 or something like that, right? So simply, you know, throw this aside, forget about all this stuff of theory. And as we see here, nah, my opponent, I played this move, which was a somewhat weird approach, but I would say it's somewhat justified, because this knight, well, it's not so well placed here. Where would it go, right? You don't want to have your pieces jumping around the board. If you got to attack c7, something like that, in the classical chess, or f7, okay, Tarash still said if bishop c4 and knight g5 in classical chess, then he still said this was a stupid move, knight g5 attacking f7, right? But anyway, this is, well, why not free your rook, right? I'm not saying I'm going to repeat this. I did it here, and I had an idea, okay? And now my opponent made this move, and maybe he did not expect what was going to happen, or he was happy what he could do to me. So he made this move, and I'm still saying, well, maybe it's not the best move. But yeah, of course you can't tell all this, and I'm never gonna check this with my computer. So just make sure you understand. I'm never gonna check my games unless I'm gonna note it or something spectacular about the computer, what he did, right? But usually I'm not running a computer at any point. I don't want to do this. This is my approach. So what is threatening here? I mean, the computer instantly infrits and I can't stop him doing so. But anyway, there's a mating threat after 3 moves that you've never seen before. Or it's move 4, okay. But anyway, it's a mating threat and you've never seen before. You might have tend to attack this knight and say, well, where would you like to go? But b7 is not covered. So you're going to be checkmate. It did not happen in any of those games. But now look at my move, right? What would you think the right move could be? I mean, there could be rook a7, of course, and I saw this in advance, or also that I could play rook a7 and b6, but I didn't want to lock in my bishop. There is knight d6, but this would lock in this bishop, and anyway, you would not like to have pieces in front of your center pawns, right? You can have it in front of the side pawns here, but not in front of the center pawns. And so, what is the move, right? And I don't like rook a7, right? I can't say I'm gonna. I foresee all this. I'm just gonna, I'm got some experience with the chess 960. But anyway, here I made this move, and this I think it's a good move. It's a good idea, right? And what is he gonna do, right? Or what is the intention of this move? I mean, he can take here. He can take a is on a different place than you are used to. And where would this knight go, right? Would you like to, would you like to go to d3, or where would you like to go to, right? There's no good place. And actually, I even would recapture this pawn. I have to keep in mind, I can't do castling, any castling anymore. If the king move, no more castling. But this is not something, but let's think about a move. If he plays here, I might even go f5 and then start to, chase his knights here. But I can also simply take the pawn. So it's not what he did, but anyway, it must have been a surprise to him. What he did was playing d3, and this is of course a move. If you have some experience with this game, you would not like to do this move. Maybe e3 because queen would also cover, but you would not like to lock in bishop here, although there is a place where it's still. But also this knight is somehow, there is still e4, but where would it go to? Okay, c3, there's a square. But anyway, my next move is a good move, I think. And you can all try to work it out. But there's one very, very strong piece that you have. Anyone has. And it's in classical chess, and it's in a. I'm sorry, I don't know what to. And it's the queen, and this queen does have some space now, and this is a very important piece you need. And maybe you should have answered f4. I don't know, but anyway, this is also chasing this knight, right? I can't stop it. I'm very sorry. No, I think if he's going to play here, I might even go e5, because he can take b7, but then, okay, I'm going to chase the knight, I'm going to take f4, I don't know, this looks pretty good for black. So this is too late now. What he did was, he thought he was pretty clever with making a safe square for his knight. So he took his pawn, he took my pawn, I have to move my king here, and now he's going to escape with a knight to a5. So he was maybe proud of this because he covered this with a bishop, right? And he didn't want to get my right? If he went here, then we have the same old story. There's e5 going to come, and this knight is even, well, it's may not be lost because of d4, but it's got no more squares, right? So this is what he was trying to avoid. Or maybe there's bishop b4, I don't see it, but d6, no. So king d8, knight c5, e5, there is no bishop b4, right? I mean, it looks like there is a discovered attack somehow, but there is d6. Even if knight goes here, queen e7, queen f7 most likely. No, there's g5, so we should go to, there's knight g5, right? So we should go to e7. And even though there is this knight f5, there is queen e6. This is okay. Knight g7. Yeah. Well, it just gets silly. Maybe c5 here, but it's not gonna be a good position for white, right? I'm gonna take here. He's gonna take here. I'm gonna play c5 even. I don't know. It's a longer line, so maybe. But yeah, he could have gone for this, but he was proud of getting this escape square and not giving me any development. But here comes my idea, and maybe you could also pause the video if you like to. Anyway, it is a combination of this freeing my queen and of course the pawn advance, which is very popular these days, I think because of Magnus Carlsen, because he uses to push his pawns, side pawns. Anyway, I would like to come to an end with this. It's not, well, it's not a yeah, you don't have to, I don't have to be that proud on this achievement effort. It's what, 1800, maybe it's my opponent. But anyway, a3, it's attacking this b2, and maybe there is b4, I don't know. I had a quick look at it afterwards. But it can still, I get some advantage, I think. But of course here, a3, b takes a with the idea, not, no, yeah, sorry, I showed this move now. Now it's very important that you do not go for queen f6 right away, because this may be what he foresaw. But I think even, you know, he foresaw a bit more than that, which was the impression during the game. But after this, it's not that black is any worse, but maybe a pawn is gone. Maybe, yeah, no, man, I have to prove my compensation, right? But a3, well, with how many pawns? He's 2 pawns up now, right? So I get, but I can also claim maybe queen b2 and somehow lock all his teams, or knight a4, something like that. I don't know. But anyway, there is a forced win if you wish so, but it needs some deeper, yeah, we have to go a little deeper, because it's not that easy, because he still made the impression, well, he foresaw all this, right? This is queen f6. And there is actually a way to save this rook for now, for the moment. And this is the move he made here, which is the move king c2. I mean, actually, yeah, if you hit this rook right now, of course, your queen is gonna be trapped. So, yeah, well, heads off to him. I mean, good idea, great thing, what he saw there. But I did have maybe the deeper calculations or whatever. But I have this move, knight a4, right? And this actually, it seals the, well, it determines the outcome. Don't know good expression at the moment. Anyway, he still made the impression to be pretty comfortable, because he went for king b3, which I had been expected, but I thought at least I would have, I mean, in the, yeah, but anyway, there may be many ways of doing it now, but maybe you spotted it or you didn't. I showed it to someone yesterday, a child, and he didn't find it instantly, right? There is this check here, and I mean, now actually I shouldn't have done this maybe, because I asked him, well, which checkmate would you think is the more beautiful one, right? Of course it is the move d. It is the move d6, right? Now the bishop is coming into play, and with the final, with ultimate effect, it is a checkmate. And well, funny enough, I mean, how many moves have we played? And I can't say you made these many errors. He had his ideas, and I had some ideas. We just made a couple of moves, and it was, I mean, yeah, it's just to yeah, show you something how nice maybe chess 960 could be. Second move, third move, fourth move, fifth move, move 5, move 6, move 7, move 8, sorry, move 9, move 10, well, it's showing there, 11, checkmate, 12. So, checkmate in 12 moves. Well, he was not so pleased, but later he came to me and we had a look and so on. So everything's calmed down. Yeah, he said, well, very funny. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. So this was my introductory video with the English language and Chess 960, and I wanted to explain why I've done that. That's for chess.com, because I asked for, you know, would you be interested in some videos? And they said, well, go ahead, as long as they are in the English language. Thanks a lot for watching. I forgot to mention that. Bye bye.